Four dragons preside over the four seasons: spring, summer, fall, winter. This we know is true.
The four created 20 dragons of earth and sky, and each of the four became part of the world. This we know is true.
The dragon of spring became the wind of magic. The dragon of summer became the sun called Yor. The dragon of fall became the colors of emotion. And the dragon of winter became the moon called Badra. This we know is true.
20 dragons were gifted with dominion over land and sky. This we know is true.
And in turn shaped the land, water, sky, and weather. This we know is true.
Even now, the world is protected by the 4 and the 20. This we know is true. Oh, hi, everyone. We're back from like a month away from Breath of Magic due to holidays and other things. And before we get into character introductions and all that, I'm going to give it back to the very lovely Alice.
Oh, hi. Hi, everyone. I'm going to say a few things first before I hand over back to the very lovely Mal. First of all, please check out all the stuff coming up in, I keep saying Discord, in the chat, which has the link to Discord. We have a chat room on Discord just for this game where we would love to hear what you think about it. Also, if you would like a game, I think we've still got video games this season, and we're all taking for next season as well, so drop Scrat a DM. Also, if you've missed out on anything, please head over to YouTube and you can find the playlist for this wonderful game over there. A huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors who we could not do this without. First of all, Hero Forge. You may have seen their Kickstarter. They absolutely smashed their goal in like 20 minutes, and they're currently over 2,000%. And still going, so go and check them out as well. Also, Mage Hand Press. As we know, I will always rant about Dark Matter because it's one of my favorite games ever. It's now in hardback. It's been 2 years in the making. It's D&D thrown into space, and it's wonderful, so go check it out. Also, last but certainly not least, we have the Deck of Many that do Humblewood, which is probably one of the most wholesome books you'll ever see, and also the Magic Moving spell cards, which we will be using, which I'll talk about now, because at the moment, hype trains are a thing. And you all have been insane with them. So I'm just going to give a little reminder if anyone doesn't know what Hype Train is. The Hype Train starts as soon as we get 3 donations of 100 bits or more. They have to be from 3 different people, and then the train starts. And as we climb the levels, the first tier, everyone gets 2 advantages. Second tier, Mal, our wonderful DM, would get 10 disadvantages to use against us, and knives. The third one is 2 auto successes for everyone. 4 we would draw from the Deck of Many, and that would affect each individual player. And if we hit 5, all of that happens, all of it, at the end of the 5 minutes of the Hype Train. So I will hand back over to the lovely Mal for now. Oh, hi.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited for all of that. We will go around and do our character and player introductions, starting, I'm assuming that we're in the same rotation. I haven't checked the overlay, but we're going to start with the very lovely Bree.
Hello, everyone. It's NPC Bree. I am playing Scout today. Everyone's favorite child monster. She's so gentle and kind and sweet. She'll lick any magic item you hand her. She did feel big emotions the last time we played. So we'll see if she has to feel any more big emotions today. Hopefully she can just hit things with her stick. That's it. That's me.
I'm muted. I'm trying to click 4 things and do 16 other things. And then we'll move on to the always lovely Todd.
That's me. Hey, everybody. How are you? I play Galaran, mercenary, and the party soon found out former ex-soldier to the king. And, just have so much fun playing this game. Thank you, everybody who tunes in week after week. And thank you again for having me and welcoming me. I truly enjoy playing this game with these lovely people.
And then we go to the very lovely Anik.
Oh, hello. My name is Anik. You can find me on Twitter at Anikster. And I play Juniper, a farmer who left home to do good in the world, who also felt some very large emotions last time and did not particularly enjoy them. That's what you get for handing your DM a lot of knives. And she travels with a whole bunch of animals and Scout.
I mean, one could argue that Scout's sort of like an animal on her own.
Yeah.
A
Probably.
wild child lover.
She considers Harper and Galera more like traveling companions and Scout more like another thing to look after.
Another pet. A very strange,
Yeah,
fiery, redheaded pet.
That's pretty accurate.
All right, and then of course we're back to the always lovely Alice.
Oh, hi, I'm Alice. I'm also White Rabbit Pick on Twitter. I'm the other half of the Academy, also DM, and as you can see, player. I'm going to remember it, Mal. I have a Patreon. People, please go check out my Patreon. Otherwise, I play Harper and their little familiar Kit, which is a fox. She's constantly in loads of layers. She's a little bit awkward, but she's very happy at the moment because she has a book and now has many questions to ask her friend, who she's known for quite a while, and also the mysterious sort of calling to her, which could only be from her father. So that's all fine. I'll hand back to Mal.
Hi, I'm Mal. I never know what to say at this point. I get to play this lovely game with everyone here, and I love it. I also am on Alice's wonderfully amazing Doors of Dunera on Mondays, and I think, and then on Friday I have my awesome Dark Side of the Blue Lady Blackbird game as well this week, and I think that's it. I think from there we'll go into our recap. And then after the recap, I do have a special thing planned, so let me know if the audio is okay. Back at camp, Galaran asks Harper about what is bothering her. She reveals that the only person to ever call her Harps the way it was written in the letter that she received in Bluefield is her father. She considers the letter a sick joke, as she believes her father is dead. Galaran is not sure that's all there is to it, since there's no one else that would know to call her that. Her father was a well-loved merchant, and Galaran suggests asking about him in the city of Bronze Crossing. Harper shares the memory of the day she was separated from him, the final memory being him screaming at her to run. Juniper, meanwhile, is trying to get Scout to realize that the leaves falling around them are a result of Scout's magic, just as Scout decides to check for poison by licking one. Despite Juniper's gentle nudging, Scout reaches the conclusion that her walking stick is what is magical. Back at the camp, Harper also talks to Scout about her magical stick as they discuss over dinner, and Scout is once again reminded that certain things are poisonous and do not lick them. Kit is bringing Harper, Kit finds a magical fruit, a blood orange, and despite all earlier conversations and warnings, Harper decides to eat the strange fruit to see if she can figure out what it is. The fruit will cure a disease. Galaran is asleep during all of this to prepare for his watch later on in the night. And as Harper beds down as well, Juniper is left to deal with Scout and the other animals on the first watch. While falling asleep, Harper is reading the journal of Majalian de Armas, Dragonfriend and Lord of the Golden Dawn. In it, she reads a description of someone that matches Galaran. At the same time, Scout continues her attempt to make leaves fall with her magic stick and succeeds in getting slapped in the face with a single leaf. Galaran, asleep, dreams he's wearing ragged clothes and he looks scruffy. As he dreams, though, He's in much nicer clothing. He's a little less stern, a little less tired. And with him are 2 younger men, his brothers. This dream is a memory from his time in the army. They were all heading out on a mission, the 3 of them together. And it's the last time he saw his brothers. Their watch successfully ended. Juniper and Scout wake up Harper and bed down themselves. Harper settles in and rereads the passage with the description of Galaran a few more times. It describes a mission with this person to go on for the king, but it's all very vague. Harper's mind wanders to her father and the city of Bronze Crossing she saw in her vision. And from her vantage point, she could hear the clanking of metal and see the steam and smoke of this busy city. She's pulled out of her reverie by a small child's voice a few feet away. "Can you help me?" Being incredibly perceptive, she sees a very small boy with dark hair in the tall grass. He asks for help in finding his parents, who he thinks might be at their house. His name is Timothy, and their home is somewhere in the forest, but he can't find it. The child is very cold and very hungry, but Harper, not entirely trusting the situation, wakes Galaran up. Galaran also distrusts the motives of the boy and moves to patrol along the outside of the camp as Harper puts Timothy near the fire in her coat. The evening has gone very still. There is no breeze, and even the moonlight is dim. Galaran quietly wakes up Juniper and Scout, and briefly distracted by the others, Harper glances away for a moment, and when she turns back, Timothy is gone, and only the empty coat remains. As she searches around for him, it is in fact Galaran who hears the child's voice asking for help. Still not seeing anyone, Juniper is the next to hear Timothy. And just as Juniper is conferring with Harper, Scout feels a small hand tug on hers and a child's voice asking, "Can you help me?" Scout looks down and sees Timothy as he repeats his request for help to find his parents. Galaran questions Timothy through Scout, and they seem to reach a conclusion, but he doesn't share his thoughts with the rest until he casually mentions he believes the child is in fact a spirit. Juniper and Scout refuse to believe him and chastise him for being rude and talking about this in front of Timothy so coarsely. Scout decides to lead the child home. Galaran refuses to join them. Scout relates to Timothy in that she also lost her parents in the wood, and despite her misgivings, Juniper goes with them to bring Timothy home. Unwilling to let them all go off on their own, Harper joins them as well and reiterates the most important rule to Scout. If I say run, run. As they travel, Timothy in the lead, Juniper spots a small house. Scout keeps Timothy occupied with small questions. Upon reaching it, they see a single wall and what is left of a chimney. There are broken timbers and burn marks, and they find the remains of 3 bodies, 2 adults and a child. Harper tries to check in with Scout, but she has dropped her stick and is hugging Timothy. She simply hears, "Thank you, I couldn't find it," as Timothy slowly fades. Harper in turn hugs a crying Scout for a long while. During all this, a white-faced Juniper has started to move the bodies closer together, putting Timothy between his parents. As she adjusts their position, she finds a white and gold masquerade mask in one of their hands that has somehow survived both the fire and however many years have passed. She arranges them for rest and uses her summer magic to cover them in a blanket of grass and wildflowers, and then stands vigil over the bodies. Eventually, Harper pulls her out of it, and the 3 of them slowly make their way back to the fire. Galaran is there waiting for them, and seeing them return safe, he goes back to sleep. Harper and Scout gather at the fire, but Juniper seeks solitude. Harper warns Scout that these things aren't fun, and they are things that can happen when you go adventuring. Juniper interjects to point out that you don't need to go adventuring for bad things happen, and that either way, the group should help people, even when it's not easy. Eventually, a tired scout falls asleep near the fire as Harper continues her watch. Juniper reads an old journal, regretting time she spent angry at her children on their farm, until she too eventually falls asleep. Late at night or early in the morning, depending on your point of view, Harper wakes Galaran for his watch. He covers a shivering Juniper with a blanket before starting his rounds, as he mutters to himself about leaving these people to fix the world after he takes them to Bronze Crossing. This is not his job, not his adventure. A whimpering scout is soothed by Rebecca, and as Galaran patrols, he spots a pair of eyes in the sky, a sinuous body, and a pair of antlers, and a voice that says, "I like you. You did a good thing. I might follow you." And that was episode 3. So, I hope everyone's ready for this. I'm going to actually mute myself as well, but just let me know if the audio needs to be higher for everyone.
I've watched this story unfold many times. This group, these people, coming together by chance or fate. A farmer, a witch, a child, a warrior. Always starting in a small farming town, fields full of crops ready for the harvest, slowly discovering the growing darkness across the land and learning to trust in each other. Setting out to learn and explore and maybe, if they're lucky, to help those who need it and turn back the darkness, to heal the land. Their pasts are not all easy, and their futures are even less so. Together, though, they accomplish much. But the end of this tale is never clear. I know that they must come to face the Dark One, but how and when are never shown. Almost as if even the past is still being written as I watch. But this time is different. Had the simple act of me viewing the past altered it? Was something else at work here? I cannot be sure. All I know is that this tale is different. The choices and even the outcome might not be the same as what I know. I don't know if I dare meddle in the past, even as I watch it change. How can I know what will lead to the proper outcome? How do I know it isn't already too late? Perhaps if I give them a little nudge, a little push in the right direction, time will correct itself. I dare not do more. I must hope that is enough. I must hope that any change in the tale are for the better. Please, fates, know that I do this out of love, for my basil and our saffron, for the sake of Acris as a whole. And travelers, if you could somehow hear me, I wish you the best of luck. May your journey end well.
So,
We are dragon approved.
Galaran, in front of you is a pair of gold eyes, the silhouette of a white body, and a pair of antlers. And this creature has just spoken to you.
Do I recognize it as a dragon?
Yes.
Oh, why did it have to be first?
Hmm.
Galaron just peers at it and just gonna follow and help out, huh? Just don't abandon them when they need you the most, okay?
Abandon them? We've never abandoned anyone.
I beg to differ. Everybody wake up. We have a visitor.
Is it another dead kid? Because if it's another dead kid, I don't know if I can handle this right now.
I don't want to know.
No, Jennifer. It's not another dead kid.
All right.
Can you stop calling Timothy the dead kid?
Harper's bolt upright and book is like imprinted on her face. She sits up. What? What is it?
God, I thought I was used to not having a lot of sleep with this.
And Scout's gonna turn her head.
Is that a dragon? An actual dragon. Harper, what do you call them? Hello.
And Harper's just like looking at it, very confused and very sort of checking she's awake.
Juniper's gone starry-eyed and is just going, oh god, I wish I could adopt this one.
Oh, yes.
Closes her book and stands up, walks slowly towards Galaran without looking at him. Just look, eyes don't come off the dragon, is it? Who's your friend?
That would be one of this world's deities, and it's not my friend.
I'll stand next to Harper and just go, do we bow? Or courtesy?
I don't know. I didn't think these things existed.
Scout's gonna get up and walk past all of them and step right in front of all of the adults, put one hand on her hip, the stick into the ground. Hello, mysterious dragon stranger! My name is Scout, and I am an adventurer. What are you doing at our campsite?
Harper looks at Juniper. Don't worry, I think she's got it. We'll be fine.
That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
The dragon chuckles. Excuse me, I need a cough.
Fair.
Yeah,
Even
I'm getting over
dragons
a
have
cold.
that.
It chuckles at Scout, and I think even in the long snout face, you can see that it curls up in a smile. Hello, Scout. It's very nice to meet you. As for what I'm doing, I look to find stories that are interesting, and the four of you have made a very interesting story tonight.
And when the dragon
Where
says
is the
that,
body of the dragon? Is it like curl around? Is it just a head? What does this look like?
It's so it's in the air, and if you've seen Spirited Away, it looks like Haku. So it's got the antlers, and it's white with the fur along the top, and it's long and in the Chinese style or the Asian style, I guess. I'm not sure if it's specifically Chinese.
Okay, awesome. I love Haku and Spirited Away.
And yeah, it's just like hovering in the air, its body moving.
Okay. I'm just so you watched us tonight? And
Yes.
like, or earlier, or you're going to continue watching us? Are you gonna be like overhead while we travel? Not that I mind, because it'd be pretty awesome, but there might be questions. What's your name? Do you have names? Should I be curtsying?
We don't normally have names. You don't need to curtsy, no.
Oh, good, because I don't think I know how to courtesy.
ooh, can we come up with a name for you?
Don't let Scout come up with a name for you.
The dragon The dragon says something in a language that you might not know. Can I get anyone that feels like they want to try and figure out what the dragon says to roll? I'm gonna say sense. Roll me some sense, please.
Scout's gonna do it.
Right.
Hold on, I have to remember how to fucking do that. Ah, there it
Oh, I
is.
got fumble points again. Why do I always get fumble points in this game?
Fumble point.
No, Alice also gets fumble points.
And if I recall, because it's been a month, every time one of you earns a fumble point, the group gets a fumble point too.
Yeah, the group has
Yeah.
2 fumble points, and Alice and I both have 1. We deserve them. I should have. There are advantages carry over from a month ago.
Yeah.
Do we still have those?
Yeah, we still have
Yes.
all those.
Ooh, can I
Yep.
use one? I forgot.
Totally.
We still... Yeah, it's been really long.
Yeah. All the donated advantages carry over.
Like last week, I was a goose. It was very confusing. No, I was a penguin. It was.
We
very
were penguins,
confusing.
yeah.
I was gonna try it. 9 is better.
Harp was like looking up at this thing and sort of whispering not really whispering. It's like, what does this mean? Like sort of to the others, not directing towards the dragon, but is. I have a feeling this doesn't happen to everyone.
It's never happened to me before.
Or me.
So this isn't
Same.
normal adventuring fare?
Nope. This is not. I can't say that no. This is fine.
This is much better than fine. This is awesome. Was a 9 enough to at least get a syllable?
Yeah, so you're not entirely sure what it was saying, but it was attempting to figure out a name for itself in its language to then tell you what to call it is the best your best guess.
That is very considerate.
And after that quick quick aside in its own language, it the closest translation I believe would be summer wind, but you can call me whatever you like.
Summer
Sunny?
wind sounds good.
Yeah, Sunny the dragon.
Sunny, Harper! And Scout turns around, completely forgetting there's a dragon behind her. That's perfect!
Thought Scout was gonna be bad.
What do we do now? Sunny.
You just keep doing what you're doing. You've come together, you've done good deeds. You're on your way to investigate things that are important. You already know that they're important.
Do you know where we're going next?
No. Where are you going?
To the Crossing Bronze Bridge box place? Where are we going?
City of Bronze Crossing.
There. We're going there.
Oh yes, there's a lot of noise in that city. They like their machines.
Harper's
We
just
don't-
nodding. Yeah.
I think it's been a while since any of my brothers or sisters have been there. They sort of don't believe in us as much anymore.
How many brothers and sisters do you have? I don't have any brothers or sisters. I'm so jealous. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
The dragon chuckles again, and you can see its eyes half closed as it tries to think. There used to be 1,000 of us.
I want 1,000 brothers and sisters.
That's a lot of siblings.
When you say there used to be 1,000, did you get more or fewer?
Sadly, fewer.
Or if you're all siblings, that makes sense.
What happened?
Outcross program, maybe.
What do you know of the myth of the Dark One?
Not much. We got a book though. As she's like literally gesturing to this massive book strapped to her back that she's basically been sleeping on.
Well, to use modern day parlance, the dragon's essentially like, I'm going to give you the TLDR.
You're gonna get the lowdown from a dragon.
Explain like we're 5.
Well, the Dark One, it's strange because he's not from Icarus, and yet he is, and he fell from the sky, from the stars, and he started trying to take all of the power from the 4 dragons of the seasons. And my brothers and sisters and I were there to fight him. So,
Did you win?
we stopped him, but we lost many.
Maybe I don't want 1,000 brothers and sisters. So what does this mean? Does this mean you're going to the Bronze Crossroads? With
Maybe,
us?
if that's where you're going.
Harper had a magic dream.
Don't just tell every dragon that. Like, she sort of like looks towards Scout.
I'm not going to tell every dragon, just this dragon.
I mean, I don't know how often we're gonna come across dragons, but okay.
I mean, this is my first adventure and I've already come across one, so who knows?
That's fair.
What about you, Galaran? Have you ever met one?
Does he turn and walk away?
he just looks at Harper and he looks at Scout and just. Yeah. He turns around and begins packing up his camp.
Well, that's not an you have? Which brother, which sister?
You say you have? Like...
Not at this time, Scout. Not this time. Not right now. We should probably start heading out shortly.
Hopper sort of reads the mood and is like...
Yeah, he glares one more time at the dragon and turns back around and starts packing up his stuff.
Yeah, so I think Harper's watching this. It's like, right, okay. And doesn't pack, but takes that piece of paper with what was said on it from presumably her father and steps past probably Scout towards the dragon. And it's like, question, and holds it up. I mean, you're kind of all knowing, right? Is that how it works? Like, or at least, can the dead come back?
Um, oh, so the letter that you got?
Yeah.
Okay. Sunny kind of moves around to look at the letter, but doesn't take it from you.
You can see immediately, oh god, like it sort of goes rigid as this dragon moves around.
Juniper's just going. It's too high to touch, but she really wants to.
I'm not all-knowing. I only know what I've read. That's why we follow people who tell good stories to learn the stories of the world. And from there, we can maybe predict where things will go, but it's not always clear. Time is like a river. It's always changing. But as for the dead, I have not heard of any dead coming back. Spirits notwithstanding, that does occasionally happen, but that's not, I think, what you're asking.
Harper, is someone you know dead? Not dead?
I don't know. And she sort of like repockets the paper. Thank you. And sort of does a weird sort of like head bow and then sort of goes to walk away to help the Lawrence pack up the camp, but sort of stops. It's like, are we gonna see you again?
I'm not sure, but I will be making sure that you are continuing to do what you've done tonight. If need be, I will try to appear to you, but I have lots of things. Much like you, I have lots of things to take care of on my own.
Okay. Well, good to meet you, Sunny. And sort of like turns and walks back towards the camp, and her eyes sort of do keep, as much as she's packing everything and starting to like roll up blankets and things like that, she keeps looking back towards the dragon. More out of curiosity than anything.
You can definitely, you see that even as Sunny hovers in one place, the body never really stops moving. Almost like that is part of what keeps it hovering.
Juniper's just looking for wings or claws or feet. She's just going, can we keep one at the farm? How would you get more? Siblings, what happened to their parents? And can we start a breeding program?
Has anyone ever written a dragon before?
That was in the list of questions as well.
Scout asks out loud.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Juniper, you do see that Sunny has 4 arms and back legs. And the tail ends in a big fluff. Sunny chuckles at Scout and flies over to her. I don't think anyone's ever ridden a dragon, though. A lot of us aren't big enough for you humans to ride.
There's little ones?
I'm not very big.
How little are the little ones?
Sunny he lifts one arm and points at Scout. They can be that big.
Juniper has a new goal in life.
Sunny. Please.
Yes, Scout.
Please.
Please what?
Please, can I have a piggyback ride? Piggy dragon ride? Dragon back ride? And she's like bouncing. She's like, ah.
That would be a really great story of the first human to ride a dragon. I'm wingmanning Scout so hard right now.
And Scout's beaming. Like her teeth are chattering, she's smiling so hard.
Scout, ask it in a
Juniper's
way,
a very good adult, I think.
Scout, ask it in a way that benefits it, such as you could be the first dragon to allow a human on your back.
What he said! And I don't kick, I promise.
Go ahead and roll me some negotiation.
I'm using my nat 20.
I was waiting for that.
Harper, leave your stick here because you
Puts
need
it
both
down.
hands to hold on.
Like drops off all of everything, like taking off layers. See, I'm even lighter now.
You can tell that Sunny's considering what's been said, and it doesn't say yes so much as it gets lowered into the grass so that Scout could try and climb on him.
And Scout is
dude.
like, so
Something with a snap there.
Scout does not hesitate to hop on the back of this dragon.
It is interesting. There's a lot of sinuous body moving around you, and the only real place to be is kind of behind the head on the neck, and you have to kind of hold on to his hair. And it starts off slow, kind of weaving over the grass a bit. And then after a minute or two, you just hear he turns his head as far back as he can so one eye can look at you, and he goes, "Hold on tight."
Yee!
And then you see this streak of white just launch itself up into the sky, as with the Scout hanging on.
Harper watches like, grandmother's gonna kill me, and she sort of like pulls out her sketchbook and just tries to draw it so she doesn't forget anything.
Nothing to worry about.
So, Scout, you're going up in the sky very fast. The wind is rushing past your face. And before you realize it, you're up high enough that it's cold. And you can see between the clouds the land stretched out around you.
I don't think Scout can make any noises besides like, oh, oh, ah. I think that's all Scout's got because this is a marvelous moment for her.
Juniper would just turn to Harper and go, her grandmother's gonna be so proud.
I really hope she holds on tight.
Oh, it's a dragon. Sunny will look after her.
Exactly. Like it's a dragon.
I'm just saying, if the dragon wanted to hurt Scout, they could have done so much earlier and with much more convenience.
Oh, I don't think it's going to mean to do it on purpose. I'm more concerned about her holding on. As she sort of just watches. It's like that scream through the air of like Scout. It's like,
have you seen her clutch that walking stick? That girl's got some serious grip strength.
oh, I'm sure. As she still just watches this thing go.
Juniper started going, bye honey, have a good trip.
While all this is going on, Galaran, what are you doing? You're muted.
Apparently he was mumbling to himself. Apparently, I'm probably still just packing things up. And when that's done, he'll just kind of just hold that sword like he always does, like in a bear hug. Just stand there kind of waiting. But he's really not paying too much attention to the dragon or what's going on.
would Harper see this? Like, if she looked back, I'm assuming she'd see Galaran just stood there waiting.
I'd imagine so, wouldn't you,
Yeah.
Galaran?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Harper would probably sort of leave Juniper to watching Scout scream through the sky, and head over to Galaran very quietly, just like, is this a bad thing?
Those things are dangerous, Harper.
I mean, and again, watching this through the sky.
You know, think about what it said. It'll follow us to learn, show up when it wants. But when you need it most, if you have ultimate faith in it, don't expect it to be there. Keep faith in ourselves and the party. Okay, this is great, a great experience for Scout and anybody else. But, you know, as a worship deity or savior or anything like that, I wouldn't put too much faith and stock in it.
And Harper sort of nods slowly, like she's looking at this wondrous thing. It's a good experience, but in my experience, no one saves me but me. Okay, you did once, but like, you know what I mean. As she sort of still watches this dragon, things can be beautiful and terrifying at the same time. They've been around for a long time.
You know, just think about it like that thing right there. There's nothing alive that can hurt it. I could choke on a piece of meat later and drop dead. That thing cannot. I could fall down this hill and break my legs. That thing cannot. There's no potential danger. So to follow us along, you know, we put ourselves at risk, vicariously live itself through us, watch us, learn. I'd rather not be around, but that's just my personal experiences.
Harper sort of half side-eyes him. Is like, well, we'll watch our own feet. And as we always have, particularly you and I, look out for ourselves and each other. The dragon is just a complication. Like, as she sort of looks up, not really meaning complication, but she's like, this doesn't change the journey.
Not at all.
I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna get Scout down. I don't think Scout's ever gonna come down, but maybe between you and me, we let them have this moment and we keep our eyes watchful.
Well, that's why I haven't said nothing. You know, I don't think they're malicious. Just that,
Beautiful but dangerous.
I just find that they're all powerful and all knowing, but as he just said, even those where we're going stop believing in them. So why? Why do people give up in believing in them? Perhaps because creatures of that magnitude that can affect so much abandon you when you need them the most.
And she doesn't say anything to that, but she does sort of, her fingers sort of close tighter around that book that she was reading. It's like, I can see that.
I used to worship those things, Harper.
Why?
Because it was a noble thing. I thought they were noble and magnificent. I read the stories of what they've done, and we worshiped them. We thought that they were the drive behind the greater good. You know, when you go out and you face an enemy, you're like, the dragons are with me.
We
we got packing to do. And Galaran turns and begins to pack up whatever's left to pack up.
He walks away. And Harper is always like, like realizing she touched a nerve, and that's a very difficult thing to do. I feel with Galaran. It's like, yeah, let's pack. And sort of starts loading herself up.
All right. Scout, you get to ride on Sunny's back for what feels like forever. But all good things do eventually end, and Sunny puts you back down near the grass for you to climb off him.
And as Scout gets off, it's not really like a step off. It's like one of those like, just like slides onto the ground, and she just like lays there outstretched. Oh my gosh! Ah! Thank you! Ah!
He kind of bows his head in a sort of nod.
Juniper, did you see that? How high I went? I was all the way in the sky. I could see everything. I even saw Bluefield. I could see it from the distance. Ah!
I did see you up high in the sky. It was very cool. I think Galaran and Harper are just about set to leave, though.
Oh, they never let us have any fun.
Whenever you guys
agree.
are ready. Whenever you're ready. There's no rush.
I'm sorry you're so big, Galaran, because I think you'd really like that. That's a fun ride. You might even smile.
Harper keeps her head right down, like in the bags.
So, about the smaller dragons, where would you find meat those?
Well, you'd find them just like I found you. We exist and we look for people who are traveling and trying to help the world, and when we can, we manifest and follow them and record their stories.
All right, packing up, we're going. We have good deeds to do. And traveling to do, and dragons to meet.
Scout gets up and she's all wobbly, like dizzy. Like, grabs her stick.
Just lean on the donkey if you can't walk straight.
I rode a dragon. I will be the greatest adventurer who's ever lived! And she puts her stick up in the air.
She's gonna be like that now. Cool.
Everyone is going to be told she rode a dragon.
Yep. Well, the good thing is a lot of people aren't going to believe her.
Scout, when we get to where we're going, maybe you can find a scribe to take your adventure and draw it so it can be live on in a story.
Amazing. There are people who and she just doesn't even finish her sentence. She just kind of stands there, mouth agape. You can still see like dark circles under her eyes because she didn't actually sleep a full night. Because she did first watch, then slept for a little bit, and then there was a dead kid, and then she slept for another little bit, and then there was a whole fucking dragon. So she's like exhausted.
I don't think Juniper looks much better. She had the same amount of sleep and dead kid interruptions and dragonness as
Dead kid interruptions.
Sorry.
I mean, it's
That
not
was
wrong.
a very touching, emotional moment, but I didn't sleep. I mean, Timothy could have waited until third watch. All right.
God damn, Timothy. Could you just hang on a second?
We're very tired over here.
Let me get some sleep.
Disrespect to the dead aside, shall we move on?
Yeah? Scout's ready. Scout is beaming.
So, Galaran, you know the way. How far until we get to where we're going? Or are we camping another night? Or...
Do I know the way?
Freaking fine. You
Um,
better know the way.
Oh, what did I say last time?
Like 2 or 3 days.
Oh, I did know the way. You're right. I did know the way.
Yeah.
And it was 2 days, so only one night's rest. Well, we should reach there by the end of today if we head out shortly.
Sounds good. And Harper loads everything that she can on her back.
Right. So, it's everyone finishes packing up what they need.
I think we may have to remind Scout to keep going a few times, but yeah.
A little tired, a little. I think in the beginning, it's very much so run ahead, but like about halfway through, she's just like,
I know it's not a dragon, but you can sit on Ryu if you want.
Scout like looks with like these big, like, please God, I need that. But then she's like, no, I'm an adventurer, and I'm gonna walk like the
Adventurers have mounts.
When you say that, Scout just goes, okay.
While they're doing that, Galaran starts walking, and he'll just walk right up beside Harper, put his arm gently around her for a second, and just whisper, "Thanks for listening," and then just continue walking to be in front of leading the party.
Yeah, she sort of. It's almost like a pat on the shoulder, but he walks too fast, and she's like, as he goes. Fast walker and starts speeding up. Long legs. Like Kit has to trot.
You all walk for a while, and you're not sure if Sunny's following you or not, but sometimes you see a flash of antler or the white scales on the fur. Or you might hear a chuckle at something that Scout does or says.
I'm hilarious.
I think Harper sort of walks, maybe like probably can't keep up with Galaran, but is like maybe a few steps behind and is talking to Kit, almost half just murmuring like, I don't know where we're going, I don't know the way, I'm just following, I don't, there's just like a weird sort of chat. And for every now and then she does like pull out a book to read and walk, just to have a look at some things, reread some of the stuff about who she thinks Galaran is. But she doesn't do it for long. She doesn't normally walk and read, because normally she has to keep a wary eye out, but she feels pretty comfortable right now. And every now and then puts it away. Sort of looks back to see how far away Scout and Juniper are, and how far ahead Galaran is. She sort of walks, not in the middle, closer to the front. She keeps going. Every now and then sort of looking back to see if there's a dragon following them, thinking of what Galaran said. But it's just keeping an eye out.
One of the times you've pulled out the book, Harper, and are rereading that piece about what you think is Galaran, you feel something look over your shoulder, even though nothing's there. And a moment later, very quietly, you hear Sunny ask a question. Is that him in that story?
And like Harper sort of pauses. No.
How do you know?
And there's a moment, maybe, I don't know if Sunny would pick up on it, but she's definitely lying. Because she's worried after the conversation and what the dragon might do or know. Is it? If it is, and if it isn't, what does that mean? To you, I mean.
If it is, I can understand why he feels the way he does about us, I suppose.
She pauses for a moment to almost, she's going to ask in more detail what happened, but then she doesn't think it's not the dragon's place to tell her. It sort of pauses. So you learn from stories, and you think this is him.
I mean, it sounds like him if he was ever happy.
Look at it this way. If it is him, there's a couple of empty pages at the back of this book. I'll write in it what happens. If it is or not. Some stories are better left with different mysteries anyway.
That's true.
There's no fun in knowing everything. And she sort of suddenly thinks about the letter in her pocket. Almost everything.
That's true.
I don't
You need
think
those...
it's the same person. Maybe physically. Maybe physically it's the same person. It's not the same person.
Well, maybe you'll find out that answer someday.
She sort of shrugs. Maybe. Maybe not. I like him for who he is at the moment and who he is now. So, it doesn't matter if I find out. I mean, she sort of like looks at the book. I mean, it could be pretty cool that he was it, you know. But it doesn't matter. He's my friend, and that's about all I need.
That's a good way to look at things.
Even if a dragon is looming over me, asking me a lot of questions, I don't really know how this works, but, yeah. I think. Then looks mildly confused.
I think that's good to stick with your friends like that.
Yeah. One question though. If anything does happen, will you just leave? If anything bad happens? Do you intervene or do you just watch? Are you allowed to intervene?
There's a pause, and for a moment you're not sure if Sunny's still there. But then you get the sense that Sunny's thinking very deeply about how to answer this question. We don't leave because something bad happens. We don't ignore the world if we can help it. I'm allowed to intervene, but it takes energy.
Tell me about it.
And there are so few of us now that we're all spread out, trying to keep track of so many things.
Okay.
There are lots of stories.
There aren't many of you left. And you're obviously very important. As she sort of smiles. Just one thing though, something she pauses. My dad told me. There's only one of me. It may take a lot of energy to do something. And I know I'm not an almighty being that maybe looks after the world or something. But I could. Not be almighty, I mean I could do something that changes quite a big thing. And it's going to take a lot of energy. And I don't have a lot of it. Especially compared to you. But I'll do it. And she feels weirdly comfortable talking to effectively what is to her nature rather than another human being.
I think you hear Sunny chuckle. Not like that you said something funny, but in an understanding way. Let's see. I think you're right. And that's how I try to be. I can't say for certain all of my siblings are, but we're here to protect Icarus and the people on Icarus, but you're right, sometimes small actions can make big changes.
It's where you're following me, right?
I'm following you because you made a big change, yes.
And she almost like laughs herself. I made a dragon think twice. And she starts walking. She's not walking away from the conversation, but she's assuming she can hear it, even if it's still walking, so.
Mm-hmm. I think you hear Sunny chuckle, and then either his attention is on someone else in the group or something required him to leave you because you don't feel that presence around you.
She almost waves as it goes.
Juniper, as everyone's walking, what are you doing?
Yeah, just not a lot. She's exhausted. All the kid jokes aside, that was an incredibly confronting and miserable experience for her. The dragon helpfully distracted for a little bit, but I think she's... God, at the risk of this becoming a party of edgelords and scouts, I think she might actually be brooding. I think she's walking next to Ryu, just sort of going, at whatever madness is coming out of Scout, without hearing a word.
And you could see the way that the trees looked at the very top. Did you know at the very top of the trees, they look like this, and they almost look like little clouds themselves, but like from the ground, it's like nice, ground honey. Clouds. Oh my gosh, I've just never seen it.
You should write that down. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what she's doing.
How long have we been traveling to this point, Mal?
I would imagine because you woke everyone up very shortly into your watch that it's still pretty dark, so you're probably moving a lot slower than you would in the day.
Even if I cast light.
Do you
Right, but
cast light?
how much time has gone by since we left, would you say?
Since you left the campsite?
Yeah.
I'd say that it's been a couple hours, maybe at most. If it was dark, if it was dark when you woke everyone up, it might just be starting to become dawn now.
Juniper, how often do your companions require feeding and rest?
Well, Ryu slept through everything last night, so he's good. Rebecca is currently asleep, so she'll be fine. Ella's good. I could use a break.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'm happy to blame that on the animals, but honestly, I'm the one who needs a break.
Okay, why don't we take a break? It was
Breaks
a
are
long,
good.
rough night.
I did. Oh well.
Do I see like a clearing off of the path somewhere where we can kind of take a rest under a tree or something?
Well, I think at this point you've made your way. You're on the edge of the grasslands that you were in, and the ground gets a little harder. It's a little rockier. You can tell that you're heading in towards what'll eventually become the large cliffs that house Bronze Crossing. But there's probably a couple of trees you can take a break under. Yeah.
How about we just call it breakfast?
There we go. Let's take
Breakfast sounds good.
Oh, breakfast does sound good. And Harper just sort of drops everything off of her shoulders and sits down.
Like, I know it has no mechanical impact, but Juniper's just gonna start cutting up those freaking magical apples they found to put with breakfast. Like, even if it doesn't do anything technically, at least it's gonna taste good and hopefully cheer people up.
Juniper, you had mentioned you have children, right?
Yep.
So I imagine last night might have affected you much different than everybody else. How are you holding up?
It was pretty rough. I mean, I don't particularly want to talk about it, but
Okay, well that's fine.
like, I'm sure my kids are fine. I left them in very capable hands, and Timothy was just very unlucky. And even if good people come to help you during bad times, sometimes it's not good enough. And she starts going into this. It sounds like it's very well rehearsed. Like, she's told herself the same story over and over and over again about how sometimes she just can't help it, and people are still kind of good. And yeah, she just rattles on about how sad things happen to good people, but her kids are fine. They have to be.
Well, I'm glad we're all doing well then.
I think everyone's doing real well.
You say that Scout's like laying back on the ground, just like putting taffy in her mouth. I'm doing great. I rode a dragon.
Starting to wonder if maybe Sunny isn't particularly attracted to sad stories.
Harper sort of goes and lays down next to Scout. Because, you know, you could choke if you eat taffy whilst laying down, and holds her hand out to take one.
Puts a taffy in her hand.
Thank you. And just sort of lays back and eats this.
Juniper, after finishing like handing out breakfast that isn't taffy to people, is just gonna. We don't need to watch during breakfast, right?
I hope not. I'm really tired. Oh, I'm really tired. I don't want to do anything for just a minute.
We'll hit the place by way before evening, so we could probably rest here for a good hour and a half.
It's a good idea, especially because knowing our luck, something scary is gonna be happening.
So look at Harper sort of like looks over and is like, okay, fine, gets back up, sort of chucks her coat over Scout and sort of goes and sits down and takes the plate off of Juniper with like a bit of a smile and starts sort of, it's like a bite for her, a bite for Kit, a bite for her, a bite for Kit, like they're both.
At some point, one of the bites for Kit is being snatched by the little raccoon hand. Just sort of goes, whoop, gone. I'll grab one of the journals and I'm just gonna sit next to Galaran and be like, it's gonna be that mom for a minute, and I'm gonna flip through a page of sketches that are, that one's Nettle, that one's Aza, and that one's Holly, and one of us a boy, and I keep forgetting which one. And you see 3 children that look like they're different ages, but they're nearly identical. They all have really long curly hair, and they were apparently drawn to be very much representative of how the Arcos. They're all pretty filthy, even though their clothes are well mended. You just see them like in this meadow, just covered in dirt. Like that's what, yeah, that's how they usually are. See, they're fine. Told you they're fine.
It puzzles me, and I don't mean to pry. You can also tell me, you don't have to answer this, but why did you why are you here doing this instead of with your children?
Because,
Again, you don't have to answer, Juniper.
No, I'm gonna, broad strokes. You're not getting the full picture, I think. I think I owe the world or the universe or whatever cosmic balance might be out there a debt. And I'm here to repay it.
Well, that sounds like a pretty heavy burden to carry, so let's
People came to help me, and they saved my kids. And I don't know, they had no reason to be where they were. None. It was coincidence or fate or whatever you call it. But they were there. My kids are alright. And now it's my turn.
And yet our paths cross, coincidentally. So maybe I answered my own question. I asked you why you were here, and perhaps it's to save us all.
I'm sorry, that is genuinely funny. I have no skills that do not relate to farming.
You know what?
And as you say that, Scout makes like a sleepy.
I don't know. You seem to be doing pretty good with taking Scout on her first adventure. You're a good listener. Your animals love you. I mean, if I knew nothing else about you, that alone, your caringness, I think, is a debt paid, but perhaps you're here to save all of us at one point. So let's not miss that opportunity when it presents itself.
Be an honor. It started out feeling as a burden, and I'm still absolutely terrified. Like, at all times, assume I'm terrified. But yeah, I think it might be okay.
He kind of just taps her and then stands up. He's like, I'm just going to patrol a little bit.
Yep.
He goes back into his just quick walks around and looking out and about.
Yeah, Juniper's going to do the thing where you clean your donkey's hoofs and stuff.
Tedious job.
Favorite things to do always.
And I'm assuming Scout's gonna take a nap.
Scout's taking a whole ass nap.
Well, it seems like this is a really good spot to take our break as the group takes a break in game. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes, I believe.
It's never 5 minutes.
I said about. I used the qualifier.
Get drinks, stretch.
Yeah,
all of it. Take a break. So yeah, we'll be
Drink
back in a
water,
minute.
stay hydrated. Being hydrated is cool.
See you in a minute.
Oh, hi, we're back. The group is taking a much needed rest to have breakfast and possibly sleep. Let's see here. Is this the track I want? Sure. Let's start with Scout. Scout, after about an hour or so, you wake up from your nap.
I feel so good. And she puts her little hands on the ground, sits up straight. Harper's coat falling off her. She looks around to see who's around.
Who's around?
Who's around?
Pretty sure Juniper went for a power nap after her chores. Just, the 20-minute, that's just long enough to wake up kind of refreshed.
Right. It's like you've
until you
convinced your
really
brain
crash.
you're still alive.
That's the one. I'm not a zombie, I'm fine. So I think nearby Juniper's asleep, hopefully. If nothing horrendous happened in the meantime.
Harper is still eating. More that she's got extra food rather than, as long as there's enough for everyone on the journey, she's probably still eating. Sort of, every now and then you see her sort of like have that very suspicious glare around or sort of up into the sky, and is keeping an eye out or listening more for a dragon more than anything else.
If Scout spots a Harper eating, she's probably just gonna like crawl in that general direction because she only ate like 5 pieces of taffy. Like
Harper slowly watches her sort of,
and she's like trying to sneak under like the grass. She's like,
as you do that, she literally just takes a plate and pushes it towards Scout as Scout approaches.
I'm just picturing Scout more and more like that creepy girl from The Ring now.
She's got this fiery red hair, but she's trying to crawl to steal some food. She's trying to be sneaky.
Thank you for that donation. Everyone draws from the deck of many, so let's do that. Right, first of all, thank you. Is it Lunaria? I'm really sorry, I can't pronounce that name, but then I can't pronounce other names.
Lunaria?
But either way, thank you. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go round all of us and Lunaria. Oh, okay. That's a nice name. And when I say stop, when you tell me to say stop, that's when I pick your card. So we'll start with Juniper. Tell me when to say stop.
Stop.
Death.
Oh, that's very rude, Karma. You get the moon.
Oh, the moon. Very
cool.
So
pretty. I think Scrat will be sending that to you, Mal, what that means.
He told me I get to decide because it's not
Oh,
D&D.
yes, of course, it's Ryutama, isn't it?
Oh, I got the moon and we got donated by Luna Raya, which is it's so cool.
Okay, and Scout, tell me when to stop. You gonna wait to the end?
Stop. I felt like I was at Olive Garden, the Olive Garden.
This is very Scout, the comet. This is all very Luna right now.
Celestial.
Okay. And Golaran, tell me when to stop. Oh, it's intense. Ooh, you got balance, which is interesting.
Right.
Okay, Mal, when I say it, you're going to tell me when do I stop? If I get death again. I got death yesterday. Hang on. What is... Great.
Void.
Talons.
Huh.
It still looks very celestial.
That represents the grip on that book.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, or how tightly Scout clung to that dragon. So yes, moon, comet, balance, and talons. I will write it in the chat for you.
Okay. Interesting.
Always a good sign when your DM says that.
Yeah,
No.
I pass. If I see Scout sneaking towards me, I just sort of give her a look and slowly pass her like a plate of food. Like, is that you don't have to sneak for food.
I'm trying to be a ninja. I have to learn all of the adventuring skills. Sneak is on there.
I mean, you can do that, but you don't have to do it at breakfast time. Do you know what? You can do it. It's fine.
Just takes it and she just kind of like backs away slowly.
I like Alice that you and Harper are both eating because I imagine that she's
I'm
talking
very
between
IRL.
mouthfuls.
Like I'm very IRL, Alice and Harper right now. And yes, she would be. And yes, I did just give Hildy something, so it's like it as well.
It's good for her.
Okay, that's How am I gonna
When the
Yeah,
DM seems concerned, I'm concerned.
I'll just say the thing is like everything's very D&D, and so I'm like, how am I gonna I don't
Just make 3 of Juniper's wishes come through, and we'll just, call it a day. I mean, Moon is a wish card. That's a good one.
Yeah.
3 wishes, all 3 of your kids. Bam, slam, chicken, and ham. They're all here.
And they're currently immortal. Perfect. Real good.
I wish for my kids' immortality.
Yeah, well, Juniper might not say no to that.
Simple mom goals.
I feel like
Very simple.
wishing for your kids to be here and wishing for their immortality, those are separate wishes.
I think wish 1 would be their immortality, and then you have 2 left to do fun stuff with. Like then the basics are covered.
Okay, just I realize you're not gonna do this, but do you really want your kids to be immortal?
Oh, cool. Maybe like a little caveat that they're immortal until they don't want to be anymore. That sounds good.
We're really starting to split hairs here.
Yeah.
That's the thing about wishes, though. You spend
This
your
is
way
how-
lawyering into a good wish for like a month before you say it out loud.
This is how Highlander started, people.
And it was an amazing show, and there are no movies.
There's one movie. The first
I-
movie is
Is
great.
it- wait, is Highlander the thing that people were talking about recently where they only die if their heads get cut off?
Yes.
Yes.
I know what that is now because I Wikipedia'd it.
Yeah. I haven't seen the show.
Wrong
so-
person won in the Highlander movie. I do have a feeling we're getting slightly distracted.
I mean,
Which Mal may be using as a time to think about what he's going to do to us. With us.
I'm not sure what to do with the cards. I'll have to think about it.
Much to consider, young DM.
I like how he's like thoughtfully stroking his beard, and the more he thinks, the faster it goes.
Is that how that works? I haven't.
You
Like
would
I know
think-
I know I do it,
Yeah.
but I just the
thoughtful
harder
beard.
I think, the more I.
Beard stroking intensifies.
Okay, so Scout woke up. Scout got food from Harper. Harper's eating. Juniper, what are you doing after your power nap?
Just the power nap helped. The talk with Galaran helped, so I think she's just making like a mindful decision to try and not brood and just start actually believing things will be fine. So she's just packing up, looking around if there's any more of those delicious apples around, which I think actually has a rule for.
Yes, you get to roll that every day, I believe, to find herbs or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. It's only my side job, I keep forgetting. Ooh, that one. A crit and a fumble.
I think that's enough to find more apples based on the last time you did that.
Like I said, even if we're not recovering hit points, at least we're cheering people up because they're magical. Is what Juniper's just thinking. They'll be fine. Put it on in the bag. Properly pack this time, because I don't think Juniper would have been very cautious about what went where when she was packing last night after everything with the sleep deprivation and the dragon. So she's just sort of going through rations and going, why are my socks in here? And just sort of rearranging things a little.
Okay, and then Galaran, I'm assuming you're patrolling, but what are you doing?
He's probably at this point just put his back to a tree, got his sword and like a bear hug like he always does. He never really unpacked this time, so he's kind of stand there, and party members might catch him just looking at the three of them, kind of just a little, maybe a smile or just looking and waiting for them to be ready to go.
Scout's ready when she's full.
Likewise.
I was gonna say,
Here
is
till-
Scout
we're here till
ever
the
full?
Next day, no, we're doomed.
That's a good question, Deanna.
So I'll leave a trail of food for Scout to follow. Now Harper sort of gets done, sort of lets sort of the last bits on the plate sort of trickles off into a spot for Kit and goes to refetch her coat, and then starts just sort of loading up again, getting ready to go.
Okay. Gotta just. Who did I keep? Okay. Scout, as you're eating and everyone's getting ready to go, you happen to look up to the sky. Perhaps you're looking for Sunny, and you see something falling out of the sky. It's very small, or it's very far away. It's hard to tell. And as you watch, it gets closer and bigger. And before you know it, lying on the ground next to you is a white and gold masquerade mask.
Scout's gonna pick it up and put it on. Wait, is it hot? It fell from the sky.
I don't think it's hot, but sure, you can pick it up and put it on if you want to.
Oh yeah, no, Scout doesn't even think about it.
It's not my job to tell you no.
She'll be like, "Ooh, look what I found!" And you put it right on her face.
Storm over and try and grab it off her face, going, "Where were you in my stuff? This is not a toy."
She's holding it on her face like this as you're grabbing it. No, it just fell from the sky.
That's
Check your
weird.
bag. I didn't steal
That's
anything.
even worse. Don't put it on your face if it fell from the sky.
Why? You said you have one.
Yeah, I found it on dead people. These things are not toys.
This is not a dead person.
How do you know?
While the two of you are having this argument, Scout, you suddenly find your vision pulled somewhere else. You're not under the trees with your companions, with your friends. You're somewhere dark, somewhere loud, and full of smoke.
Juniper! I'm sorry I stole your mask. What did you do?
And as you ask these questions, you see a faint light. You feel like you're walking, perhaps, down a tunnel as you realize that you pass every couple of minutes. And as you look around next to you, you see that next to you and behind you in this tunnel are people, men and women, all wearing these masks, the mask that you picked up. And after a long walk down this corridor full of loud metallic noises and pipes with smoke and steam every once in a while, you find yourself in a room, a large, mostly unadorned room, except for a design carved on the floor that you can't quite get a look at. And you hear a voice. It's a very deep voice. It sort of reminds you of Sunny, except bigger and older. And as you focus in on what the words being said are, you catch in the room, in the darkness, a pair of glowing red eyes. And you hear, "Is everything coming along according to my plan?" And then you're back, standing in front of Juniper.
Just give it back, Scout. Come on.
And as you say that, she like tears it off and she throws it as far as she can.
Okay, that might have been a little more than was required.
Did you?
Scout? Okay.
And she just starts hyperventilating.
And just deep breath in, hold it, and
Where's Galaran?
out.
Where's Galaran?
Patrolling.
And she just sits there and she puts her head to the air and she just screams his name as loud as she can.
I'm just gonna go pick up that mask, I think.
Don't put it on! Don't put it on.
Duly noted. Who's
Even
gonna-
Harper turns round and hears like Scout yell,
Screaming and hyperventilating.
Yeah, probably runs towards her, even though her name's not called. It is like hands round Scout's shoulders, like, what is wrong? What is wrong? And then looks around for Galaran to see what part of patrol he's on. As this kid is
Did I hear
screaming.
her now?
I'm screaming it.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
you
would've
don't
been that
patrol
far
far
away.
enough away. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm sure you hear Scout screaming.
Galaran will, you'll see him just start charging in. Sword's already drawn. He runs up, stands in front of you. What? Like he's got his back to you. He's like, where is it? What?
And she just like shakily points in the general direction where Juniper is picking up the mask.
That is Juniper.
Mask I have.
It-
DM.
So I was sitting, and then a mask fell from the sky, and it looked cool, so I put it on, and then I wasn't here anymore, but I was in a dark place, and it was really smoky, and there was other people wearing the masks, and then it was like Sunny, but it wasn't Sunny. It was an angry Sunny with red eyes, and then he just said, "Are things going according to plan?" And then I wasn't there anymore. I was here.
Let me see the mask.
That entirely depends on what you're going to do with it. Mal, is it the same as the one I found on Stubborn or Evie?
Yes.
Creepy. Is mine still in my bag?
Yes.
I'll give the one that fell from the sky to Galera, and I'm going to go have a look at mine.
You've seen this before, Juniper?
Yeah, I found a very similar one yesterday. Well, last night. I'm not sure when days are starting and ending anymore.
Where did you find it?
Either Stubborn or Evie was holding it in their hand.
You mean
Where
on
did
the
Bodies of Timothy's. Yes.
you found it at Timothy's?
Yes. In the center of where was once a giant fire, and it was unscathed, and I didn't stop to think about it.
Everything in the house was burned except for the mask?
Yeah.
Scout, you said you saw other people wearing this in your vision? Lots of other people?
Lots of people, and it was smoky, like a fire.
And they were all listening to this voice?
But it was like it looked like an angry Sunny. Where is Sunny?
There was another dragon?
But
Okay.
red eyes and mad.
And just like Harper looks together, and this is not the first vision that's happened. I saw the city, remember? In the middle of the forest. And now there's this.
Put the mask on.
Seriously considering putting on her mask, yeah.
And Harper's like, what are you doing? The arms flail. Almost of a, oh my god, I can't stop him if I want to.
Juniper was going, yeah.
Nothing happens.
I think mine's broken.
Yeah, you both put the masks on. Nothing happens.
Well,
maybe it only works if we do it one at a time. Take mine off.
What's the plan? What's the plan? Sunny!
No. The plan is to not consult Sunny.
But Sunny wouldn't know.
The plan is for ourselves to consult what we're going to do, and that is continue on our way. Just like Papa saw a vision, perhaps where we're going, perhaps what you heard according to plan, all of these masks being worn by people, a mask being found in a burnt house that is untouched. Well, perhaps this is the big bad guy we're looking for that's causing all the death and disease in the forest. Perhaps it wasn't a dragon, but a minion of the name we don't mention.
Or it is
How do I know what
we don't mention?
How do I know what the name if we don't mention if no one tells me what the name is?
The name that Sunny said they fought when it came, the Dark One.
The one that killed their brothers and sisters.
Yes. I have to admit, I'm not particularly superstitious about mentioning the name. I've just forgotten it.
So did I, in all honesty, Juniper. And Galaron makes a joke. He makes a joke. But
and then he has to explain his joke because everyone's assuming he doesn't joke.
I mean, all right. Hold on. Let me make an intelligence check for Galaran to see if I could. Because Todd thinks something, but let's see if Galaran would think it. Let's see here. Where am I?
I consider, like, if wisdom saving throws were a thing in this game, Juniper would have to roll to, like, not put the mask on again. But it's not working.
Let's see here. All right. I really don't see. Oh, right here. I'll roll this one. Okay. I set a difficulty at 4 for myself, so perhaps this is like Mask of the Followers. What you saw was a cult following of something causing harm, all going according to plan. Perhaps it is a cult following of people that are waiting for us to show up so they could greet us and help us with the next step. Maybe according to the plan is this mask falling and guiding us to where we're going. In either case, I don't think anything defers us for our path to get to the bronze bridge. Right? Bronze bridge.
Either way, I hate it. And I think we should just keep going, because it technically hasn't given us any other direction.
Let's just be on the lookout for more of these masks. Perhaps 4 of them will come in handy.
She's sort of like half size, but I think we should keep moving. I don't really want to stay here much longer. Let things fall from the sky.
Scout?
Yes.
You should put this mask in your bag and hold on to it for now. It's obviously came to you for a reason.
And she takes it almost like you're handing her like a hot coal.
Like a dirty diaper.
Like a dirty diaper. And she puts it, and she just puts it in a pocket on an outer layer of a coat, and she just kind of seals it, and she kind of like wipes her hands clean of it.
Juniper just tosses her back in the bag where it was. Alright. I've mainly repacked. I think we're good to go. I did remember the name of the dark one, by the way, so I put it in the Zoom chat for those.
Does
still
this
in the
happen,
metaphorical dark.
Does this happen every time you go on adventures?
You're muted, Alice.
What?
All right, if you said something and it didn't get picked up.
No, not for me at any rate.
Well, if this keeps happening, I don't know if adventuring is really my lifestyle. So she stands up and kind of like, the way her coat moves, you can tell she's just uncomfortable with this like mask in her pocket. Maybe I do need a sword.
Have a knife.
A knife!
A knife. What have you got there, Scout? A knife! No!
And I think Harper probably makes to make sure everyone's ready, but then she will start walking.
Yeah, and this time Scout is walking very close to Galaran, like in his personal bubble.
Okay. I think we need to change the music now. Go back to
Playing Phantom of the Opera light.
I was like, Strahd is gonna pop up any minute.
Yeah, I
think
I mean, it was perfect for that vision.
Galaran will go into downplaying the significance of it all mode and kind of tell Scout, like, first adventure, rode a dragon, had a vision of possibly some other great entity. I mean, you need to find a scribe. Your adventures will be legendary, Scout. Legendary.
Great Scout. who scouted the dragon. Oh, ha ha ha.
Need an editor
And
as
it is
well.
completely gone. Her fear has like gone right out the window.
Like it.
Do you have any stories written down in books?
I don't know. I'm not sure. There's not much stories written about mercenary work.
You'll be in my story, that's for sure.
I am humbled and honored.
I'm going to include the part where you squish the egg, though. I'm sorry. If it ruins your chances of... Well, I mean, you already have a girlfriend, so I guess you have nothing to worry about. And she kind of like taps her fingers together while she's got a stick in her hand. And she's just like, you should be fine.
I have a girlfriend.
Yeah, of course.
Who is my girlfriend, young Scout?
And Scout just like rolls her eyes and like gestures her stick at Harper.
Harper.
Yeah. It's obvious.
Is that what you think?
It's obvious, right, Juniper?
Oh yeah, no, I've known from the start. I don't know if the two of them are aware yet, but...
Well, perhaps someone should inform myself and Harper, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
We just informed you. Harper will catch on eventually.
Right, Harper? I've told Harper a few times.
Harper is like just walking. She's just like on a route of, I'm gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep going. More that she's still distracted by everything that's going around. She's not really listening.
Don't worry, Kit will turn her around. I think, secretly, Kit might be like the smart one of the two of them.
The leader, the true leader?
Yeah, I think so.
Kit leads, Harper's just along for the ride.
Yeah. Harper's his familiar. Her familiar. There you go. This works perfectly.
Scout, just remember one thing as you adventure and you move on and your deeds become legendary. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget Mima. Don't forget to pay visits. Let them they know you're okay.
I wonder if there's any stories about my parents.
Well, perhaps we'll find out.
That would be nice. Adventurers. Throwing your microphone around?
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Nope.
Yeah, do you unplug yourself? Sometimes I unplug myself.
Yourself or your microphone?
Both.
Oh no.
Better.
Hey, there we go.
I have returned.
It's like you never left.
Harper, do you have anything on you that is enchanted?
I have one thing. I have almost like a few little things where she's enchanted, like little models of things that move.
Like a little horse that Scout has.
Like she's made quite a few of those that she would sell at markets, like the little trinkets, but otherwise no.
For some reason you think to check your things as you're walking, and you realize that all your little magic trinkets that you would sell are gone.
Yeah, she's sort of like, I think she doesn't hear the rattle so much, and she's like starts patting herself down and is reaching into all the pockets, like the hell is my stuff gone? Like it starts like, because her pockets are very, very deep. They sort of go all the way up to her elbow in some of her pockets. And she's sort of reaching in and she's just like, I've been robbed. Like sort of looking around. Just like maybe I left it elsewhere. Did I make it? Did I make? Yeah. And then looks towards the sky, half murmurs, almost to see if the dragon this is anything to do with you. Don't steal my stuff. And sort of like closes the coat and this time buttons it up so that there's no way someone can get to her inside pockets.
Are you being fairly obvious about this?
Oh yeah, like she's digging around in her pockets. She's not a subtle person.
Yeah. Juniper's going, she's not saying it aloud, but she's making a mental note to have a word with Rebecca next time they can.
And I think almost like just looking around, not because someone was up, but she picks up Kit and sort of holds on to him a little bit tighter and starts walking. She's almost marching ahead because I think because Harper knows where this place is as well because she's traveled there a few times, and she's with the letter in her pocket. She's eager to go, so she's sort of half marching now, keeping an eye out, sort of literally scouting ahead.
Gotta scout ahead
without a scout.
Okay. Let's see. Like Galaran said, you will arrive before evening. Having had your stop for breakfast, would you stop for lunch?
I think we'd stop again. I think Galaran would realize the animals, such as Scout and Juniper, need rest quite often because they don't really adventure as much as Harper, who's lived out in the wild so much, and myself, who's traveled so much. So he would try to, and he would put it on himself. He would be like, oh, I don't know about you all, but I'm ready for a break, some water, and some refreshments.
Juniper sees through that because she's done the mom thing with her own kids often enough. Like if they're too tired to go to bed, sort of go, oh, I have to go to bed. So she's recognizing what you're doing, but appreciates it.
Scout is not picking up what you're putting down, and she's just like, if you're tired, of course, we do need to give you rest too. Gotta rest those old bones. That's what my grandmother always says. That's what Mima always says, rest the old bones.
I'm 35.
That's a long time.
And you see Juniper go, I come to the horrendous conclusion that she's older than you are. And somehow she thought you were older. But no. You're 30.
He looks like he's worn a lot of years. Like he's been doing this for quite some time.
Like Juniper has like the tanned leathery skin of an outdoor farmer as well, but wow.
She's got a youthful soul.
Yeah. Some call it immature, but yes.
Scout doesn't know what that word means.
Fair enough. So are we doing anything fancy for lunch? Is it cold trail rations? What's the plan?
That's a good question. What is the plan?
Do we have a plan? I think I know the answer.
To eat? Like, Harper will want to eat.
Yeah, but are we like cooking lunch, or are we just taking 10 minutes, scarfing it down, quick pee break behind a tree for pretend privacy, and moving on? You gotta go now. We're not stopping once we're back on the road.
Like Harper's never traveled.
I'm only pulling this donkey over one time, and I'm not pulling it over again.
I will turn this donkey all the way around. I think Harper's like never traveled with someone with like a schedule, and she's like, "What? Like we don't have a choice. We have to. Like, I'm gonna eat, and then I'll keep moving." Like she looks mildly nervous by Juniper right now. Because she's never had like a mother, so it's not. She's always literally lived by what she was gonna do since she was like.
Juniper's just expanding into just mothering the whole group now because you clearly need schedules and direction or something. I will make some food. At least make sure everybody eats enough, but not too much, because I saw Scout stuffing herself and I don't need her throwing up later either.
I'm fine. Just pecking on the energy.
Do you have any more of those apples, Juniper?
I did find another one. So
Can
sure.
I have one, please?
Definitely.
Thank you.
I imagine they just taste like the best apple you've ever had since they're literal magic.
Yep. Whatever Galaran's favorite apple in the perfect season, like when it's the most crisp or, ripe, whatever.
Juicy.
Yep.
Juniper, if nothing else, you just provide these apples. Consider your burden fulfilled, because these are divine.
I will endeavor to continue to find them. Perhaps I should plant an orchard when I get home.
At that point, Galaran will go over and sit by Harper. Just check on her well-being,
She turned around, she's got like food, she's like, huh? Kind of like, you want one?
We'll be there before day's end. Are you okay with what we might find there? We discussed hopes of something.
And she looks like slightly more confident, but she's like, no, I'm terrified, but what's gonna happen's gonna happen. I mean, it means he couldn't be dead, right? I don't know what that means. I might punch him when I see him if he is there.
Consider one other thing, that if he is not passed, perhaps it was not his decision not to seek you out.
I get that.
Keep
I might still punch him.
Well, yeah, I'll punch him too if you want.
Yeah, there you go. So it's,
shame on you for being possessed.
How dare you?
Shame on you for being in handcuffs for 5 years.
It's been a long time, and it might not be the person I left.
Just keep an open mind, Harper.
Yep. And she sort of just taps it, takes another bite out of one of these apples. You can see her look up at the sky again. Like, she's very aware now that this dragon can literally enter her head and chat.
Mal, Galaran has no idea that he's in that book, right? He didn't know somebody was writing his adventures or the king was writing it, right?
Yeah, okay. It's arguably a journal the king kept of his own telling, so you probably have no idea that the king wrote anything down about you.
Harper, have you found out, do you find that book I got you enjoyable?
And she immediately is, yes, very enjoyable. Why? Have you read it? Like, it's just sort of...
I have not. I was just asking if you enjoyed the...
Yeah, it's a good book.
Adventures or stories in it.
Mm-hmm. Like, she doesn't want to make him feel uncomfortable. Like, doesn't want to make him. She doesn't want him to read it.
You are really nervous about getting to this town, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good book. You could, do you like to read? Like, she's now trying to awkwardly steer away.
Do you read books?
Do you read books? And she sort of steers away from it.
I've never read a goddamn book before.
You like to join?
I like reading.
Just gonna start a book club. This is the first book of the month.
This might not be your thing. I enjoy it, but it might not be your thing.
Yeah. Okay. he kind of gets up and moseys away. Like that.
As it walks away.
That was
I'm so glad we didn't make this a drinking game. I'd be under the table right now.
that was weird.
Okay, so Galaran and Harper have this conversation, and I do want to check in with Scout, but before I do that, Juniper, you hear Sunny's voice, and
in my head as well.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not like Sunny's not next to you talking. You don't see Sunny.
All right, awesome and creepy. Carry on.
You hear Sunny's voice say, "I've brought you something that will hopefully help you. Its power is great, but limited. But I know you will use it when the time is right." And after he finished his speaking, you feel a weight in your hand, and there's a small coin made of silver with a dragon's head on it.
I'm going to briefly glimpse at it, and I'm gonna put it in my pocket, and I'll tell Sunny. Thank you. I hope I have the wisdom to realize when is the right time to need this. I'll try.
You hear that chuckle, and then he I believe in you.
All right, Juniper has the biggest, stupidest smile on her face all of a sudden.
And then before I go back to Galaran, Scout, what are you doing as Galaran and Harper have that conversation?
I feel like at this point, she's already given the boyfriend-girlfriend talk again. How many times she gotta do this? Juniper looks busy. So Scout is probably just gonna walk kind of ahead by herself in like a leadership manner. The little stick, she's like kind of stomping it on the ground. So she's still in view, but she's still kind of just looking around, and she's just scanning the air. She kind of mutters to herself, "I bet Sunny would know who the red-eyed thing is. I'm sure of it. Did I just join a cult? I was told very clearly by my Meemaw when I was 9 not to join a cult."
Happens, people. This
And
is
she's
how
just
you
kind of
join
like,
a cult.
You can just
she's just like muttering to herself, like,
You're also not supposed to start a cult. Just be mindful.
cult. Yeah, she's just traversing. She's a little confused, a little concerned. She's got cults on the mind.
Can you make me a perception roll, please, Scout?
Eight.
Okay, that's definitely high enough. As you have cults on the brain, you try and remember as many details from your vision as you can. And there's a detail your mind suddenly sticks on that you didn't realize in the moment. The people that you were with, that were all wearing masks, their eyes were all the same color as whatever that was in the room.
And she'll turn around and she'll be walking backwards to face like Galaran Harper. On your adventures, have you ever met any regular people with red eyes?
Now have I? You say, I mean, no, it's not a usual eye coloration of why.
Just wondering. And she'll turn around and go back to walking.
Now, do I recognize that? Do I recognize anything where the eyes would be significant to some greater being controlling them, or anything like that?
I think because Galaran did work with the king before things happened, that you maybe didn't experience it personally, but you've heard stories.
Scout, why do you ask that question?
Well, because the people that were in my vision all had red eyes like the scary thing.
Yeah, ixnay the possibility that thing is there to help us, and according to plan is our arrival to assist. That's probably not the case. There are certain powers that I've read about, though very old, of greater beings having followers, controlling them in one way, or some willingly, some realizing they give themselves to this being without knowing they're going to lose control of themselves. But it sounds like what you witnessed wearing the mask were followers, and either willfully or unwillfully being controlled or influenced by this big scary thing that you mentioned.
I don't like that.
Well, the good news is you put on the mask and it didn't get stuck to your face. So take solace in that.
That could have happened.
If those masks are enchanted in some way, that would explain why one survived the fire that killed a family of 3 and burned down a house, and yet it seems unscathed and unburned.
I don't like that.
Well, I don't either, but remember what your quest and your mission is, right? We're trying to find what's poisoning and plaguing the woods.
That's true.
Perhaps you being here, Scout, you discovered a clue. And Juniper, perhaps what happened to that poor family has become more clear.
They joined a cult.
Or they refused.
Or they refused. And she's just parroting him at this point.
Yeah. And perhaps, all right, hold on, let me make another intelligence check. see if Galaran would think of this. All right, well, this one I set at a 9, so I failed. Never mind, I lost my train of thought.
All right.
Well, I believe all ready to continue, yeah?
Papa nods, putting that book at the bottom of her lowest pocket.
When we get there, stay close. Do not divulge information to strangers willingly.
And how do you make friends?
It's a busy place. You'll probably bump into a lot of people.
We will... People who are always destined to find each other will.
Caloran, you're having such a deep day.
I just watched The Witcher and I really like that line. So
It was a good line.
We will be perceptive. We will look for clues that might fall from the sky or appear, but stay together and don't give our information unless we as a group decide it's okay to divulge information. Yeah? We are simply there as adventurers. No particular quest, no particular mission, no particular backstory. I'm not a former soldier. You do not have kids somewhere else. You're not looking for your father. And Scout, you didn't ride a dragon quite yet. Let's not draw
Bananas.
attention. Let's not draw attention to ourselves.
Can't
It just
mention
makes sense.
basically anything. How are we going to ask people about the blight and things? Or we're just gonna hope and pray people are talking about it and we happen to be nearby when they mention it? Because that seems like it's gonna take a really long time. And I would like to be home before the eldest graduates.
I wouldn't say that we can't ask certain questions. We're just not investigating it. Like, oh, did you hear about we just came from out west where we witnessed some woods were dying. Unbelievable. And then just let the conversation go. Let the conversation go, and perhaps other people that hear that might pick up and approach us, and then we can judge their character and deem if we're divulging our stories or not.
Right.
Just be a little discreet.
Sneaky.
A little caution. Basically, I'm saying don't walk in there and go, hello, my name is, and he looks at Scout, Galaran. I'm here to discover the woods on my adventure and figure out the death and plague going on. Just keep it.
And I rode a dragon.
Taking the long way around. I get it.
There we go. Does that seem agreeable to everybody?
We're being sneaky.
Again, I'm
Like
going
that,
to have to
sneaky.
promise I can only try. Because it has been pointed out to me before, I am not a very good liar.
Well, you could just be a mute then. You could be like, I take care of the animals. You're not lying, and you're telling the
That's
truth.
even worse.
Juniper, where did you come from? I take care of the animals. Juniper, who was that man with the large sword? I take care of the animals. You're not lying.
I'm using that.
I have the utmost faith in the four of us to figure out the right path.
Just let me know when we're nearly there. I have to put Rebecca in her harness, or she's gonna steal half the city.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good idea.
She has a
When
city
Galaran-
harness.
When Galaran says he has faith in all of you, you all hear Sunny, I have faith in you too.
You can't not answer my questions about the red-eyed monster and then talk to me now. That's rude.
Harper goes into that stance of, who dare? She hates that this thing can enter her head.
I hate that we're calling him Sonny. Anywho. Thanks. Your vote of confidence is much appreciated from both of you. I don't actually know where Sonny is, and I'm pointing in random directions.
I'm gonna keep walking, and Harper continues to walk forward.
Yeah, I keep moving.
Question: Can we like talk to the dragon with our minds, or are we saying it out loud? Can we do it?
I'm just saying it out loud. I don't know what you're doing.
I think for Harper, maybe the first couple of replies she said out loud, but then it naturally became, she realized what was happening. And I think that could happen for everyone. I just think, because everyone's got some kind of magic for the most part, but I feel like Harper being probably technically the most practiced in the group, it was quicker for her.
Okay. I think probably at every now and then she's less on edge, but she's on edge about certain things now rather than everything.
Can I sidle up to Galaran and go, so how does it feel to know that you and the dragon actually agree about something?
Once agreed with a lot of things about the dragon. But that was a long time ago.
Can't have been that long ago. You're only 35. You're practically a baby.
Kind of you to say.
Look, as someone older than you. I'm sorry. Go on.
Let's keep going.
Sure.
You turn and walk off then, Galaran.
Yeah.
How can he cannot turn and walk off because then he's going in the wrong direction to go to the city.
He somehow turns and walks off,
Does a
but all
360.
he really does is speed up to get a little further ahead.
Well, I'm just gonna have a drink then.
So Galaran, as you, since I'm gonna say that at this point you walk far enough ahead to get into the lead of the group, and you have a couple of minutes of solitude, and then you feel an item in each hand that is not your sword. In one hand is a small vial. In the other hand is a small locket that you recognize that you haven't seen in many years. And as you're looking at both these things, you hear Sunny's voice in your head. I don't know what happened. I can't change the past. But I have some things to help you. And I hope that we can work together.
You say work together as if you would actually work together. You'll assist. You bring items that I will thank you for. I know what this is. I don't know what this is. This reminder. I don't want to be angry anymore, Sonny. But I also don't want you in my head right now. Thank you for your gifts.
Sunny doesn't verbally respond, but you get the sense of the acknowledgement before the feeling fades.
Do I know what the vial is?
I don't know that you'd know right away, but I will tell you just so that you can make a note of it.
Okay.
It's iridescent silver. It almost looks like mercury. And it's a potion of levitation.
Okay. And I know what the locket is with the chain hanging off of it.
Yep, you definitely recognized it right away.
Yeah. So he'll just keep that in his hand. He's not even gonna put it in his pocket. He's just holding on to it. I don't open it and don't do anything. I'm just holding on to it. Vial in pocket, a pocket, and sword in the other hand, and just walking. And it almost looks like someone can tell Alice when she gets back. Almost looks like he just like almost broken for a moment. Almost like just, and then just kind of remembers where he is, and people are watching him, and he straightens back up and clinches onto that a little bit more. Again, he's just holding on to it, and he's squeezing it like a fist. And he's got the sword in the other hand. He's kind of just holding on to it docile. And he's just keeps walking. Chain hanging. But it was noticeable to the party that he just stopped for a second and almost felt like, and then just kept going.
The obvious slump of the shoulders.
Yeah,
for just
like
a moment.
Almost defeated for a minute.
I think Harper sees it but won't bring it to attention. But we'll keep walking. But be wary of it.
Handing you an apple, just darting away again.
Scout's oblivious. She's not muttering to herself like, get a ride from a dragon, also friendly, but won't tell you about the mysterious red eyes. I get it, whatever. Mm-hmm. She's just stomping her little stick as she walks. Secrets.
Would
Grown-ups
you all
always have
mind?
secrets.
Would you all mind if we camped the night right outside and waited till the morning to go in?
Could be for the best anyway. I'm sort of right trying to read his face, but probably can't. But
That city is as noisy as you people say it is. I'd be happy for one last quiet night. I mean, I'm used to the farm noises, not clanging.
And you know
I've
I don't
never
like
heard-
cities.
Any objections, Scout? Your opinion matters.
I think it's for the best that after a very stressful day, that we get a full night's rest before we face the bad guys in the city. Stomps her little stick all like officially.
That place will be there tomorrow.
Oh gosh, but what if it isn't?
And we don't have to go there anymore.
Dun dun dun.
Oh gosh, there's
So I think we're gonna get there, Mal, and we're gonna take one more night of chat,
about to
discussions,
die.
or whatever.
yeah, this our music changed very quickly.
Yeah. Is there like a herd of horses stampeding across a ridge somewhere?
So you stop to have this conversation about camping for the night. You can see the cliffs now, and you can see parts of the city. And as you have this conversation, you notice shadows covering the ground. And as you look up, you see far, far, far above. They must be massive. They're almost like whales flying through the air. But there's trails of black in their wake. And as you watch, out of the ground surrounding the cliffs, these large cannons appear. And in front of your eyes, you watched lightning, black lightning, fire from these shapes down into the city. And from the city, these balls of energy that explode almost like fireworks. There's a battle happening over Bronze Crossing. And that's where we'll end today's episode.
Galaran will just look at everybody. I knew we weren't supposed to get there this evening.
All that's running through Harper's head is, oh god, I'm taking a kid to war, the one that I promised I'd look
I promised to
after.
keep one kid safe. It should have been easy fucking enough, but now we're going to war.
This is fine.
Holding on to the coin and going, that's not quiet.
Okay, so thank you for that donation, Luna. We all need to roll a d20, and the lowest roll pulls another card from the deck, ready for next week.
I got an 11.
How do you do that? How do you roll?
Hang on, I'll copy and paste it, and then you can just copy and paste
Oh.
it.
I rolled
Hang
under.
on.
Oh, thank God, Alice rolled under.
Oh, there, yes, Mel's done it all. Yeah.
Roll D. Is that just RD20? Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you can just copy and paste that straight into. Is it me? I don't want to make me
If it's
again.
you and you
I've
roll
already
death
had my
again,
stuff stolen.
if you roll death again, the game's trying to tell you something.
Yeah, but no, I rolled death in another
Victory.
game. Of course. Of course. Okay, hang on. Swear to God.
Well, I'll tell you when to stop, Alice. I'll be your
Okay.
harbinger of death. Okay.
So nice of you.
Stop.
Ooh, the throne.
Throne.
Hey,
Oh.
I'm lucky. What can I say?
I don't know yet. There's some pretty scary things in that picture. So. But otherwise, yes. Thank you, Mal. Everyone, please check out the links that are coming up in chat now. If you've missed anything, you can go check this out on YouTube. Also, we have a channel for this just in the Discord. If you would like to go and scream about these now flying, zappy, electric thunderstorm whales things. Because I know I will.
Also, put a link to the summaries in there if people want to read back to what we've done so far.
Yes. Also, a huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Hero Forge. Their Kickstarter is over 2,000% now. Go check them out. They've got some seriously amazing stuff over there. Now they're doing the colored minis as well. Mage Hand Press, D&D in space. It's wonderful. Definitely head over there and check that. And last but certainly not least, you've seen them use today. the deck of many. That was the one I almost picked up, the Idiot Grape. Yeah, go check them out. And otherwise, we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys.